There we go. All right, we're recording. You can talk now.
Oh. Well, now it just feels forced.
Now it feels forced.
Well,
I guess we call off the podcast. Call it off.
Yeah. It is, if nothing, forced.
That's true. I think the entire podcast is forced at this point. It's just us forcing ourselves to do it, right?
You know what? It's weird because there's some weeks where I'm like, God damn, I can't wait to fucking do it. Like, it's like you just feel it. And then there's other ones where it's like, no, well, we already skipped last week, so we can't do it again this week. Right.
I'm with you. I'm completely with you.
I will say, though, very quickly, I am going to have to skip next week for purely selfish reasons.
All right. That's fine. Purely selfish reasons are still reasons.
It is going to be the only time we're going to be able to go see Fantastic Four for like 2 weeks.
So I don't know why you want to watch a Marvel movie at this point, but okay.
Man, like
they've
I'm
really
still
lost it,
like
man.
Thunderbolts was great. I enjoyed Thunderbolts.
Now.
The what?
It's DC's time now.
Dude, I have heard that Superman is a big old pile of trash.
I've heard it's nothing but awesome. Who told you it's trash?
I have one guy at work who he and I just talk comic book movies and stuff constantly. He actually texts me in the middle of the night after he got done watching it. He's like a grown adult, so like usually like when he does that sort of like goes to a movie really late, he's like, I'm not gonna text anybody because they're probably in bed. And he's like, I'll just wait to talk to him whenever I get into work. No, this guy texts me at like 12:30. He said 1 out of 10 I almost left the theater. I was like, wow,
really? That bad? I don't believe anything's that bad from James Gunn. I'm sorry.
There's another guy I work with who's into a lot of that stuff, but he has a more discerning eye when it comes to criticisms. And he's like, I mean, it's a movie. I guess it's okay.
What? I mean, all the critics love it.
Well, I'll tell you, we went to go see the Jurassic World movie. So here's how meh I was on that movie even beforehand. I didn't know what it was called other than the new Jurassic World movie.
I heard that's terrible.
The best way I can describe it is you can have the exact same amount of enjoyment watching that movie actively and passively. Because that's basically what was happening. I was passively watching it the whole time. Just because it was bog standard, though it's funny. It's funny because the other movie that was playing was the new Final Destination. Okay. And the opening sequence of the Jurassic World movie made me think that they screwed up and started playing the wrong movie first. So
funny.
Are you gonna watch it?
Oh, the Jurassic Park movie?
Yeah.
No, man, I ain't got time for that. Are you kidding?
So
I got time for like primo movies and Superman. I'm so over superhero stuff that Superman has only barely wormed its way into. I think I might watch that. But I know what that entails if I go to it, which is committing to another fucking cinematic universe. And I don't know if I can do more than the ones that I'm already in right now.
Right. So, I mean, light spoilers, not that it's like anything that spoils the whole movie itself, but the opening sequence is what happens to have catastrophe strike. You know, because that's the Jurassic Park. Right. Dinosaurs in enclosure, but something goes awry.
Right.
So these guys are like going in this area. It's all like scientific. Everything's locked down. It's, like
the Snickers
sealed
bar
doors and
Are you talking about
the Snickers bar? Okay, so yeah, dude.
I watched Pitch Meeting. Do you watch Pitch Meeting?
Yes. Oh yeah,
He talked about it in Pitch Meeting. He was like,
"It's literally what happens. It is an unnecessary." So it's like hazmat contained area, and he's just like, "I'm gonna eat a Snickers right now," and he just throws the wrapper on the ground, and it slowly takes a journey through the entire laboratory and get sucked into a door jam. And for some reason, because one single door jams, the entire facility is just like lockdown, error, like unlock all the doors, unlock this, everything's fucking screwed.
What if we made our super secret lab research facility out of Lincoln Logs?
Right, like
that's what it kind of felt like.
It's it's one of those that it's like you watch it and it's like, okay, sure, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Kind of like I exposed Kayla to Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter last night.
That movie's so bad.
Oh, it's so great though.
The book is actually no. Here's the thing though.
I have the book.
The book's good. The book's actually good.
So back in the day, I remember very explicitly we had a conversation about this when this movie came out. We were working together because I was so hyped for that movie, and I watched the movie and I was like, I mean, it's okay, but like, yes, the book was way better. The book was way better than
it's
than
why
anything else with it.
I can't get on board with even like hate watching that movie because like I loved that book. I was like when I saw that there was a movie coming out called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, I was like, I gotta see that. And then like I heard that it was a book first, and I'm like, gotta read that. Read it, and I'm like, this book is amazing. I cannot wait to see this movie. And then you got fucking his wife shooting wedding rings out of a gun, and you're like, oh, this is fucking terrible. What's even worse is it's written by the guy who wrote the book. I'm like, what are you just like lose all your intelligence and gift of storytelling the minute you turn it into screenplay form? Like, what happened there?
So my favorite part of that was I remember I saw the movie once and I remember I read the book, but I only remember tiny bits and pieces about everything. When they were doing the fight on horseback, not like riding horses, but like running between horses. Mm-hmm. And at one point the dude does the anime thing where he just like slams the horses down into the ground to stop himself and spin around and throws a whole horse at Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Watching Kayla's face, she was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, this is why I'm here, man. Yeah. This is why I'm here.
It's definitely a get high and watch now.
Yes.
Without a doubt. I would agree with that.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible gaming podcast.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming. You, dear listener, for whatever reason, have decided to listen to another horrible gaming podcast. I'm not alone. Usually I'm never alone. With me is
Neil, aka Tiny Wizard, trying to not suffer in pain.
Oh my god. This dude's like 10 years younger than me. He's complaining about back pain.
It was missed at the opening, but basically you just get to a certain age and you sleep the wrong way, and apparently that's all it takes to cause you a day's worth of pain.
Just wait till you get to a certain age where you sleep, period, and it causes you days of pain.
We're almost there already, dude. We're almost there already, honestly.
Great way to start the show. Super depressing. We're going to keep it going.
I'm old and everything hurts.
Today we're going to talk about our 6-month check-in. We kind of missed it, obviously. We're towards the end of our 7th month. But just checking in with the state of 2025 in gaming right now. I didn't want to do another Doom and Gloom episode, but, here we are. So we're going to talk about that. And yeah, we're going to talk about other things. We're going to reunite fan interaction, all that fun stuff. But before we get into it, we got to thank the people who make this possible. Behind our ugly mugs, you see a custom graphic that was provided by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. Theme song for this show and all our shows here at Old Man Gaming is provided by the man who makes the music, my brother Nick Van Sliders. We thank him for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with fan interaction.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our first segment, our most important segment. That's fan interaction. That's where we, the co-hosts, we talk to you guys, the fans. We answer out your questions everywhere we see them, and remember to look for them. Starting off with Jason hold on, let me do this right so I don't miss any. Starting off with William Holland this week, as usual. Oh, crap. All my stuff went away. Give me 1 second. There we go. Press the wrong button. A notification popped up just as I was scrolling, and then boof, I'm in something else. William Holland, hi! Exclamation point. OMG, Neil. What a great analogy for the SOTN inverted castle. The racing mirror mode. And to be clear, Symphony of the Night is on many people best game ever made lists, so you're not crazy, Zach. I like how he split us down the middle on that. He found a way to agree with both of us on that one. Nintendo being able to remotely brick your console is absolutely frightening. It's very dystopian and unsettling. Seems it's not doing much, though, since it's the fastest selling Nintendo console ever. Thanks for the show. Hashtag 3.5 million Switch 2s sold. Yeah, okay. I guess I'm wrong. I don't know why people want to spend money on that thing at this point, but it is what it is. I mean, it doesn't help, too, that every media outlet is just latched firmly on Nintendo's wang now. Like with this Donkey Kong Bonanza thing. Like, if you don't get it, you're not cool, like, basically. And, like... There's a whole story on IGN that was like, I had to get it just because of Donkey Kong Bonanza's review. Like, man, come on, man. Stop shilling this stuff.
Like, believe me, I want to get a copy of that game.
Yeah.
Primarily because, I mean, Mario Kart World is fine, but, like, that's, like, the game that they have out for the console at this point. So, I need to get something else for it that actually like puts it through its paces. But yeah, when I saw IGN's review, they gave it a 10. I was like, a 10 is a very high bar to me. I feel like there is no game, even like my personal game of the year. I believe at this point, Clair Obscur, like I give it a 9.5 because there's no game out there that's perfect. Absolutely no game out there that's 100% perfect. But I mean, they find a way, I guess. But IGN's got an IGN.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the thing is I'm sure Donkey Kong Bonanza is a good quality game. Like I'm not saying it's not. It's just for that to be called the killer app and the reason to go spend like over $300 on this system and that game is a little ridiculous to me. And again, what is it going to take for people to say no to things? Like, I just don't understand at this point with what they have decided to do to you if you buy that system and do anything with it that you don't know. Something you could accidentally do. Like, you could easily accidentally download software that they don't like and they brick your system if you are not conscious enough to realize what you're doing, So, like, it just bothers me. But I don't want to get on a Nintendo rant. So, we'll move on. Jason, Chrono Trigger did time travel good. Any other sense? Because it was literally 30 years ago. Look, I never played Chrono Trigger. I was not into JRPGs. I'm still not really into JRPGs. There's a few that, like, get me, but overall, I'm not a JRPG guy, so Chrono Trigger was never a game that in any way, shape, or form interested me. I know my brother loved them, but it wasn't my thing. That being said...
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That being said,
finish your thought.
I do believe Alters does time travel good. I haven't even played it yet, but from what I understand, it does time travel pretty good. And I'm pretty sure if I thought about it, I could find a time travel plot that I enjoy. I will say, though, this is a subject that games notoriously do bad. Like, they don't... It always turns into rewinding time. I mean, I feel like Deathloop might be okay. I don't know. Another one I didn't play. But, like, it usually turns into, when you do time travel, it turns into, reversing something so that you don't fall and die or something like that. I I think the original Prince of Persia was amazing. Same with Warriors Within. I would say that. If I'm going for any other sense that did time travel good, I would pick Sands of Time. I would pick the original Prince of Persia trilogy. Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and The Two Thrones. I think were a phenomenal through line for time travel. Especially since the trilogy ends with the first line of the first game. And that's pretty impressive for a whole 3 series arc, 3 game arc.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best way to really describe how Chrono Trigger. So I did play some of Chrono Trigger. I didn't play the whole thing. There's a buddy of mine who had the 3DS basically re-release of it. So that's kind of where I started playing through it. It's not one of those games that the whole conceit is going back in time to ABCXYZ. You're constantly shifting through a story, but you're bouncing between the periods of time of it. It's like the main story isn't going to the past. The story is the time travel, if that kind of makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah, in regard to time travel, honestly, there's just because we're kind of talking about this, there are 2 movies that do time travel. I feel like that raise the
we
fewest
weren't
amount
talking
of
about
questions.
movie. I would go nuts with time travel movies.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna throw my 2 out there.
Okay.
The 2 that I like how they explain it
Don't
away the
open
most.
this bag of worms.
Looper.
Oh, okay.
I like how they did it in Looper, and I like the explanation that they gave in Endgame.
Okay. All right. I got
Obviously
a lot of
Back to the Future's,
Look.
its own thing, and
Yeah.
there's obviously some, question marks with that too, but
I mean, I like it.
yeah.
You always got to hit time travel with kind of like a grain of salt thing in a lot of ways, because it's so fictitious. I mean, hey man, if we're going movies, I'm immediately going to go to Bill and Ted. Right off the bat.
Seen that
You've never seen Bill and Ted? Excellent Adventure?
No,
Bogus
I
Journey?
almost watched
Face
it one
the
time.
Music? Oh, great movies. Ridiculous movies about time travel. There's a bunch of other ones too that I would definitely name. I think that that being said, about video games specific, I don't want to get into the movies. Specifically video games, I think the Prince of Persia's, the original Prince of Persians, I think they did at least the time travel aspect of it very well. Moving on, Jason continues, Silent Hill Forte, stylized with the musical notation which resembles an F, has been known for a while. It's set in Japan, which just pushes further the trend to set SH games places other than Silent Hill, which sort of makes the town being something uniquely horrific kind of diluted at this point. Silent Hill 3, I think, started it, but at least you end up in Silent Hill. 4 was set in nearby environs and maybe featured Silent Hill proper. Homecoming was set in another town, and I don't know if it was near or ever you visited Silent Hill. The other ones I never played. I kept stop being Silent Hill. It kept stop being Silent Hill, and I have no interest in F right now. Don't know if I care about Resident Evil 9 at this point either. 7 pissed me off, and I had a hard time getting into 8. Though I bought the third-person mode, so I plan to try again someday. Okay. Like I said, none of those games are for me. They're not made for me. They're not made for my person. So I can't.
I do not play those games, but I will watch those games.
Yeah, I love when the Game Grumps play them. They're some of my favorite playthroughs of them when they play like halfway scary games. Oh, it makes my day. I get so excited when they're playing another Resident Evil. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for Fanteraction. We're going to talk about the halfway point of the year, what this year has looked like in gaming. 2025. I should probably get out my Game of the Year watch. I do have quite a few of them, so we'll get into it. Pausing.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our talking point. Our talking point is it is month 7. 2025 is over halfway over. And we need to now look at how it's been in gaming. What have been our ups? What's been our downs? That sort of thing. I think, are we spending most of this time on games themselves or on news stories? Because, we've done the news stories, and I feel like that's been our crux of our topic for many months, and we all know how much we hate them.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to keep it more towards the games.
Okay.
Overall.
I'm much more down with that.
Just because, like, I know myself, not to kind of immediately jump right into it, but like I was kind of surprised this year on multiple levels by multiple different things in the gaming sphere. So I don't know. What do you want to start at? Like,
I don't know. I've got my list open. So like,
let's just do a check-in of like the biggest beats, where we think we are on like Game of the Year starting.
A Game of the Year is going to be crazy for me because the 3 that I have on Game of the Year are kind of insane to even have there at this particular juncture. Because this year for me has been very heavily smaller indie experiences has been the name of the game for me. And weirdly enough, I have gotten into some very narrative experiences this year, which is not usually my bag. And just so that everybody knows, what I do at the beginning of the year, because we do the horrible game awards at the end of the year. We always do. And there's a whole system for doing that, but everybody who gets to like nominate stuff, you get to nominate up to 3 games in each different category. So what I do to keep track of things is at the beginning of the year, once it's done, I make a little checklist on my phone, which that does not allow you to see what's on my phone at all. But basically, I just start putting things. If I think something's worth it, I put it on the list, and if something else comes in, I bump it off. And you can always pick 3. So my 3 experiences of the year are kind of insane. They are Badlands Crew, Atomfall, and Citizen Sleeper 2. So all of them came out after the deadline. I had 2 other ones on here, which was Avowed and South of Midnight, because Avowed actually came out after our deadline last year. But that got bumped off. And South of Midnight is still in the narrative and single-player sections, which we could talk about that too. But I think Atomfall was amazing narratively. I'm on record as saying I think that it's one of the most groundbreaking narrative open world games in a long time. The way they tell the story, the way they allow you to move through the world is really cool and interesting and different, and it is a crazy way of taking a narrative story that's already put down on paper and allowing you to move through it in the way that you want, which somehow tells a completely unique story, you know? Citizen Sleeper 2 is this weird kind of almost pen and paper solo RPG text-based thing that's on Xbox. Absolute phenomenal game. Really enveloped me. And Badlands Crew is this weird super indie 2-man team post-apocalyptic ride on make war rigs for like Mad Max war rigs sort of thing that I really enjoyed. So yeah, my my game of the year, my experience of the year is kind of very askew right now.
Well, I'll tell you for myself, my game of the year is one of those. It's so absolutely bizarre to me because I'm on record as being that guy who I don't like new IP. I don't, like to necessarily take risks on things. I want it to be out there and established before I really jump into it. And it was a game that it just came out of nowhere. That Clair Obscur is like, it's there. It's there's nothing going to change. Even Metroid is not going to change that at this point. Like that game, I love every fucking thing about it. absolutely everything about it. It's got everything that I want in a game like that. It's got a story. It's got like a build action based system, but it's also still turn based at the same time. It's something that I truly feel like if you like turn based games, if you like turn based games, you basically have to play that.
Right.
The only other one, like, I'll be honest, I already know Metroid is going to be on my list for game of the year at some point. And while I was actually kind of really disappointed in it, nothing has necessarily risen to the level of game of the year material to replace Doom: The Dark Ages. Because that game, I honestly, like, we may be skipping into a little bit into the surprises side of things.
Okay.
But Doom: The Dark Ages was one of those I was so freaking hyped for that game. And then I want to say 3 hours in, I was like, oh. It's very the easiest way that I can really describe it is, the first two of this remake trilogy that they're doing, the first two Doom games had a difficulty curve to them. Like, you basically had to play it a certain way. You had to go through and you got to keep killing dudes. You can't, like, everything's a fight. Every bullet counts. And now they, like, line them up like dominoes and explicitly tell you, like, hey, there's a bunch of dudes here, but hey, hit them with like 2 shots and throw your shield, and like 20 of them are going to go down in one single hit.
Right.
So they're all made out of paper mache, basically. So you feel less like this machine that's just destroying demons, and more so just like everything just kind of pops just because you're like looking at it effectively.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, as it stands, I mean, overall, I was worried this year was going to be pretty dry, and so far it's not necessarily been, and I believe it's not. It's really not been dry overall. We've gotten a pretty regular flow of things. We did kind of in the scheme of the year itself, because it was so weird how everything gets cut off for game of the year considerations and everything like that. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of things that kind of got skipped over or just barely made the cut last year due to timing. So like what is Mario and Luigi Brothership? That was one that I remember explicitly last year saying, like, hey, this is coming out, but I won't be able to put it on any sort of list. Even that it was a shock because I didn't realize it was made by a different team.
Right.
From the previous ones. So because Alpha Dream is no longer, so now they're doing the same thing with a different developer, effectively trying to recapture that same magic, and sometimes they do great, and other times we'll wait for the sequel to come around. Obviously I'd like to bar as much as we can from the bullshit side of things,
right,
because that's basically where we've been living for the past few months, effectively the past 7 months.
I mean, there has been some other stuff too. If we could switch gear too, the multiplayer stuff, Mecha Break, it's been a huge win for me. I will say I've had some frustrations with it once I got into the deeper game, but and there's a lot of really stupid shit about that game, like the whole pooping and taking a shower and stuff like that. that you're probably not even gonna notice in the game. You know what I mean? Because you just go in, you get in a queue, and you get in a match. Like, so like you have to go into another menu and then walk around and find a bathroom to even interact with that stuff. But the actual gameplay of Mecha Break is really good and really satisfying, especially when you do good, as far as like deathmatch stuff is concerned. Like that's like a solid contender for multiplayer for me. And then I also want to say it's been a huge year, at least for me, for DLC stuff, because Age of Wonders decided to do a season. Age of Wonders 4 is almost done with a season 2 at this point, which I originally did not buy the season pass because usually I like pick and choose out of them, like what I'm going to get. And I should have bought the season pass because I'm going to end up buying all 4 of them because they're that quality and good. They've all brought something really good and interesting to the table. And we're about to get the final one in August, and I'm very excited about it. It's a completely new culture, completely new buildings, completely new way of playing. I've actually been streaming Giant Kings, and playing a Giant King, which had never been in the game before, which was really awesome. You also look at Skull and Bones, which we have covered on this channel quite heavily, is now midway through their redemption arc. They have brought a lot of players back to their stuff because in Season 2, they have centered everything around features. And because they've centered it around features, they've managed to bring people back. We just got the season 2 of Year 2's update, which added large ships, which are these massive like frigates that you've got to deal with, more story content, which is pretty decent. And then mid-season, we're going to get this big faction war thing that's going to actually change the way the world interacts with you. At least that's what's promised. I'm very excited for that. A lot of people are. And then at the beginning of the next season, we get sword fighting in that game, like actual land-based combat. And
that's where I might come in.
I mean, that game just keeps dragging me back in. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, I bought it for a lot. It looked good to me. I had a lot of fun with it, but I got to the end game and I was like, I think I'm probably done with this. And sure enough, I have returned to it over and over and over again. And I'm going to say this now before anybody accuses me of it, just to give the other side. There's still tons of microtransaction bullshit in there. There is like 9,000 currencies in the game at this point, and it's very hard to keep track of what you're getting, when you're getting it, and how you're getting it with what, which is very frustrating. That's not going away because it's an Ubisoft game. But there is something great about it, which is you could tell that the core development team of that game really care about the game. You can tell it when they're on their monthly on deck, which is just like a big, not a podcast, but you know what I mean, like one of those shows where they play it and they talk about features and they do, ask questions and stuff like that. You can tell they really care about the product that they're making, even though it's weighed down by all the Ubisoft bullshit. At the core, they care about their core, play, and I think it's really cool. So yeah, but that's come a long way in the multiplayer as well, Mm-hmm. And then, hell, Baldur's Gate just came out with one of their biggest updates too. You can't discount it. They just added a subclass to every class, as well as other things.
I was actually going to bring that up.
Go for it.
Yeah, on the
Sorry
on
to
the
cut you off.
multiplayer. No, you're totally fine. Multiplayer side of things, yeah. I mean, Baldur's Gate is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically at this point, we're going to be living off of mods effectively from here on. That said, I mean,
there's already no shortage of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no shortage of those. And they've basically said, 3 separate times now, okay, this is the last thing that we're doing, and then we're done with Baldur's Gate. And then well, wait a second, there's this one other thing. I'm honestly still, as it stands right now, it does seem that they really, truly are done. That said, I'm still expecting, one more tiny surprise.
You might get it.
From
you never
Larian
know.
with everything.
You never know with them. If they don't, I'm going to be happy. The mods are already so wonderful. Before I started playing with you guys again, the last character I played was a Goblin Artificer. Neither one of those things are in the game to play,
right.
And it's awesome. So, I think that, there's already a huge mod community there. That game is going to survive like Skyrim for years and years and years. It is going to be on classic lists from now until the end of fucking time. It's going to be one of those games where anybody who gets a new game goes, what should I play? And you go, hey, have you played Baldur's Gate 3? That's going to be one of those games. So I don't know. I think we're doing okay. If we cut out all the extraneous, corporate level bullshit fuckery crap that we usually talk about, if you just talk about the games, I think we're doing all right. I think that but I think that a lot of it is on the AA product. I just do. I don't think the people really producing the quality stuff is the AAA companies at this particular time. I mean, honestly, we have barely talked about AAA companies on this list.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, like I said, my personal game of the year is going to be made by a Sandfall, like basically their debut AA, effectively. I mean, from there, what I also do think that is helping things out a little bit, as weird as it is the delay of Grand Theft Auto out of this year.
Yeah.
Because it's basically guaranteed whatever year that game launches, it's going to be game of the year. Like there's no question about it. Like, I mean, I personally wouldn't put that in the game of the year category, but I mean, a lot of other people would. That's why it's basically guaranteed to win that.
We're talking about Grand Theft Auto?
Grand Theft Auto, yeah. Grand Theft Auto. But I think that its delay opened up the possibility of this year, because all people were talking about was when that game is going to come out here at the end of the year. But now we're having these conversations about other games that have already come out or are going to be coming out this year, because the juggernaut has been pushed out of this period of time. It's going to be next year's problem, or honestly, probably the year after. But
are we even sure that it's going to come out? I'm not so sure.
Grand Theft Auto? Oh, it has to. 100% has to.
You say it has to. I'm not 100% sure. I forget you can see her now. Yeah, she's going to bed. Love you. Get some sleep, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Dad. See you.
Yeah.
I don't. We're in the middle of the crash. And it's very evident now. It's not something, like I said, no tinfoil hats required. It's not something that we even need to doubt. We're in the middle of a crash. Rockstar does not release games. Like, they don't have a revenue stream right now. They spend a lot of money. Their revenue stream is just GTA 5. They've tanked all of the goodwill that Red Dead Redemption Online had. So it's just GTA 5 online stuff. I am not 100% convinced that GTA 6 is going to make it to product. I mean, if we're looking at where the industry is, what it requires to be financially solvent, I think that Rockstar Games could very easily not exist by the time that game comes out.
You know, I can also see a world, though, that I think we've been looking for this ET moment for this crash. Mm-hmm. And I do wonder if Grand Theft Auto would end up being that ET moment.
It would be. If Rockstar shut its doors or got to a point where it had to cancel Grand Theft Auto 6, it would be such a blow. You think about the kind of damage that was done with just people not announcing games until Rockstar delayed their game, or not being willing to schedule games around Grand Theft Auto 6's release. Like, the idea that has so much power on that applies in the reverse as well. Like, if that game doesn't come out and that company starts to shut its doors, you really look at, that would bring into question the whole validity of the price raises. That would bring into question the validity of AAA companies and taking time. That would bring a lot of arguments back onto the table, and a lot of things to light that is not good for the gaming industry.
I honestly think it's not necessarily a great look, the fact that we're even having the conversation.
Right.
Of a single solitary game being a make or break thing. But I mean, regardless, at this point, it's at least next year's problem.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
It's at least next year's problem.
It is.
So, I mean, we have, we had a console launch this year for, I guess, for better, for worse, is how we would best phrase it. And so far, we've gotten what for that? We have Mario Kart World. We have now Donkey Kong Bonanza, and we will eventually have Metroid Prime 4,
Right.
theoretically this year.
Right.
So, I mean, there's still some stuff that's coming down. I mean, what else is there really left to come out this year? We've got Prime, we've got Borderlands, obviously this year's Call of Duty. I'm trying to think of other big releases that are set to come out this year, because Grand Theft Auto's not there anymore. Fable's not there anymore. Just not a whole heck of a lot, really, that I'm thinking of here, which is insane because I was actually saw an article online that people are already having their firm, end of year, game of the year discussions already, because there's not a whole heck of a lot coming out. Because usually in the summertime, when we have the Summer Fuck Fest, we find out what's going to be really coming out for this winter holidays, but we really haven't gotten that.
We got Outer Worlds 2 still coming.
Well, yeah, we got Outer Worlds 2.
And that is supposedly this year. I think that's going to be holiday season if it doesn't get delayed. And I think that one's going to be the big, late season competitor as far as it goes. I think that, again, I think it's a travesty that game is double the price of its original already.
Very ironic, honestly.
And I'd
be very ironic.
Just watching what's going on with Xbox Game Studios, I would be real worried about how well that game is going to sell if I'm Obsidian.
Oh, yeah.
Because they just closed studios that they wanted to stay open. They've laid off tons of people. You know that they haven't touched Obsidian because of the fact that Grounded has been really successful and Outer Worlds has been released. And Outer Worlds 2 is coming out. When Grounded 2 and Outer Worlds 2 comes out, if they aren't successful, it's going to get real ugly over there too. So I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so question before we get into that shit. Go down too far that hole. What's your big flop game-wise? Your big mistake of the year so far? Because I've got one.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to it. It's Doom Dark Ages, man.
Okay,
was... Doom Dark Ages was not... I don't call it a bad game. I don't call it a bad game because, I mean, it is a good idea. They they kind of tried to change some stuff up. I played through one of the Atlan segments where you're in the big mech suit and you're just running up punching demons in a fucking giant mech. It's got some cool ideas, but when it comes to the Doom formula, I think when they originally announced it and they were like, we want to go back to basics with Doom, I think that was the wrong move. They went so far back to basics. When they go through and shoot out projectiles, these projectiles come at you like OG Doom. Like, they're like in lines and everything. It just looks very strange. The parry mechanic is fine, but everything is the parrying is just way too frequent and way too easy. Obviously, yes, I know you can change the parry windows. You can make your own difficulty on that game, but I feel like the base difficulty that they establish for it is what they want you to play the game as.
Okay.
And it does not feel good. And I honestly, the whole idea that the players are the ones who make the content or the players are the ones who determine the experience. I want difficulty sliders for the game as a whole. I don't want to be able to have to go in and control every aspect. Oh, how fast do you want to move? How wide do you want your parry window to be? How this, how that? Easy mode, beginner mode, hard mode, super hard mode. Just give me a difficulty selector. Don't put me in charge of figuring this shit out. Because if I wanted to do that for a way that would feel good for me, I'd have to start a level, play it a little bit. This doesn't feel right. Stop. Change. All right, let's try it again. I don't know. This doesn't work either. Stop. Do it again. Like I mentioned earlier, they kind of make everything too easy to kill and place the enemies in such a way that just doesn't feel good. Like, none of it feels like it's supposed to. I feel like they wanted to make a different game. It's one of those, they wanted to make a different game, but they were like, hey, but we got to get a Doom out. So, because Doom Eternal, I feel like Doom Eternal was it. Peak when it comes to that. I was expecting Doom Dark Ages to be Doom Eternal 2 in medieval setting. That's what I was expecting. That's what I wanted. And that's not even remotely close to what I got.
Interesting. Yeah, I can't necessarily disagree or really agree with that because I'm not a Doom person. I will say that I've spoke many times on IP fatigue, going both ways, not just the consumer, but also the developers having to work on the same game, same concept over and over and over again, trying to make it fun for them and interesting gets old. Maybe just let them work on a different game. Give Doom a break. Not pump out a Doom game every 2 to 5 years. That being said, my miss is Towerborn. This game, I was super excited for it. Is beat 'em up, and it was supposed to have all these like really cool like gear kind of feel to it, have that replayability, and it's a complete miss. It's like they reskinned Destiny as a 2D brawler, and it just doesn't work. The story is not interesting. It doesn't progress in any meaningful way. Everything is just grind and not any really storytelling. Like I played Absalom in the demo. You guys can check that out. I have a preview, a video up here, stealth plug, somewhere on here for Absalom. Absalom, I feel like nailed it out of the park. 2D. It's got roguelite elements, but if you had factored that in, be much more into it, and make it more of a multiplayer heavy thing. This just miss on every level. It is just a grind for gear score, and it just takes all the fun out of the 2D because you realize like halfway through that like your combos and the way you play doesn't really matter. If I'm geared up enough to fight the bad guys, I'm going to beat them. And that kind of works in first-person shooters. It doesn't really work in a 2D brawler. 2D brawlers have a finite balance of, like, skill. Like, there has to be some skill play there. Like, there has to be comboing. There has to be, like, you have to be kind of good at it. That's where the power fantasy comes from, or at least the illusion of being good at it. With this, it just makes it about gear score and the grind for gear score, and I don't want to play that. Like, I don't understand how they missed so heavily with something like this, but they really did. Just complete miss on Towerborn for me, and I was really looking forward to it, really waiting for it for a long time. I mean, not to mention all the bullshit about the actually making people pay for it in beta on Steam, not releasing it on Game Pass when they promised they would at first so that they could soak money out of it, then releasing it on Game Pass later. Like, that was such garbage and bullshit, but aside from all that, the game itself just does not live up in any meaningful way. I had some fun with it with my daughter because she doesn't kind of understand these nuances, and it was just fun to beat stuff up with her. But overall, the game just it was here and then gone for me.
Yeah, it's always, I feel like it's always an extra downer. Like, when a game comes out and you have no expectations and it's not necessarily a great game, it hits totally different when it's something that you really are looking forward to and, hoping is going to be something that's going to be your jam. And it winds up either just like not, or honestly, I would even argue worse, not scratching the appropriate itch.
Yeah.
Still being a good game, but not what you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is always a rough go because I mean,
it's rough.
Yeah,
when you at least don't get any. Yeah, when you get really hyped for something and then you get there and it's just like this is not even in the ballpark of what I want, what I thought it was going to be. All right, well, we're running late, but any special shout outs you want to give out for the first half of this?
You know what? Honestly,
I got one.
I do think Mario and Luigi Brothership is one of those ones. I don't think it's necessarily going to show up on any of my lists for the year.
Okay.
Because that game is one of those. It's a comfort food game.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those. I know I'm going to enjoy it right out of the gate, and I also know like that it's not a broad appeal, and I like it for a very specific reason. So I think something like that 100% is something that I would say I hold it close to my heart. I guess is the best way to really describe that.
Okay.
I wouldn't shout it from the rooftops, but I also feel like it deserves a little bit of love.
I appreciate that. I especially appreciate that. My shout out is going to end up on a lot of my lists, probably. At the very least for music. I think that like I want to shout out South of Midnight. South of Midnight. Anybody out there who has Game Pass and has like 10 hours to kill in a game, like a short, quick narrative game, play South of Midnight. It is just such a brilliantly crafted story. It's well done. It brings you into it, and the music is so good. I cannot begin to define how good that music, let alone the play. The play is great. Like I said, there's a couple of things that I didn't love about it, which I have a review up on the channel if you want to check it out. But like, I loved South of Midnight. It's definitely on the best narrative list for me. It is 100% going to be on my best soundtrack list. It is phenomenal narrative storytelling at its absolute best. It took me back to when I was a kid playing Max Payne 2 for the 17th time through, just to play it, just to see it again. Or the old school Prince of Persia's, where it's just like I'm playing through it to see the end. Like, it really brought me back there. And what's even better is games like that tend to overstay their welcome with me. Like, I get bored of the narrative story and then I just move on to something else. It was the perfect amount. Like, it was like it ended exactly when I wanted it to end, and it told the story really well. And I hope there's a sequel, and it's right around. I hope they don't miff it up by trying to make it like open world or some shit, and just give us another 8 to 10 hour chunk of good storytelling with great fucking music. I cannot begin to define how good this music is, because the music itself is bluesy southern stuff, but it is written for the scenes that the character is going through, and it builds as you move through the level. So like as you get closer to the boss, the music will add like a new instrument. Or
I'm a sucker for that kind of shit.
Or they'll start singing
kind of shit
until you get to the boss when everything's playing and the song is exactly the way you want to hear it. I'm going to tell you, the second boss that you fight is Two-Toed Tom, who is this giant crocodile. The music during I almost died 3 times because I didn't want the song to end that was playing while the fight was going on. It's just such a great game. Such a great, interesting IP that tells a story that's not told to death. Because, Deep South folklore is not something that you see all over the place in video games or even movies for that matter. And it kind of does that. So it feels new, it feels fresh, and it's just great.
Yeah, I first off, when it comes to like the music side of things, with music flowing with what's happening, that there is always points for me, because music is always supplemental to what is happening, but when you actually start involving the music in it, human beings have like an emotional visceral reaction to music anyways. So when you amplify a story or anything that you're trying to do with music, it's 100% like it just kicks it up just another notch or two. There are so many games that do that. I feel like at some point we should have an episode where we talk about the games that have like not necessarily the best music, but the best implementation of music.
Oh yeah, that would be a good subject to talk about.
There's some that like I'm a sucker for, like a boss fight that goes like through phases, and it's like this super crazy like guitars and full chorus and
Yeah.
everything. And then, like, in fact, there was a part within Claire Obscure I was playing through earlier. When you go through, it was one of the major boss fights. When you go into an actual third stage of the fight, the music beforehand is just so grand and vibrant. And then it just goes to like a very light piano thing.
Oh,
and this
yeah,
is
it's
like
great.
one of the biggest bosses
That'll
in the
get
game.
you. Yeah, that'll get you.
It's just a very light background piano thing going on. That on its own is just like, I'm there. I'm ready.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
go.
in. Yeah, I'm in. I
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, you said you had no news today, right?
Yeah, no news. I had a crazy week, and I'll be completely honest. Whenever we have a week where we have like hella news, I just kind of stop paying attention to it because I just
Good.
can't do it anymore,
Good,
man.
yeah.
Like
I'm
I
with
had
you.
this weird love-hate relationship with the gaming news because I
Yes.
like to bitch, but at the same time, like you also have to have a break from it. So
Yeah, I don't know. I
I'm
don't
sure
even.
there's shit that happened.
I completely agree with you. Although I will say I don't always like to bitch. I would love it if we had a show where like they did everything right and everything's good. You know, like I know that
Everything's
there's
good and nothing's on fire.
right. I know that there's definitely people out there that look for that kind of shit. I'm not one of them. Please make me happy. I am easy to make happy. Just don't ruin people's lives and don't ruin our lives. Like that's all I care about.
Right.
All right, well, no news then. So we will take a break, we'll plug, and we'll be done.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show and the shameless self-promotion that comes with it. Neil, would you like to plug anything?
So, I mean, we have a bunch of different things going on right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Multitude of different things. Usually I'm only involved in one project maybe at a time, but right now there are two.
Three.
Right now we're doing, well, I mean, obviously there's this, and then we have Ordo Scriptorum. We're about to soon here get into going through the next bits of the hunt that we collectively decided on which one that we were going to go on, which was wonderful. I love having the option of choose your path, and these are the chapters you want to take part of. So we've made the decision, and at some point here soon, we're going to start getting that together. And then BG3L3, which has like low-key turned into let's be in a different state of mind and play video games and record it and put it on the internet, question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely unintentional, by the way, but it's it just so happened has taken that turn, and honestly, it's fucking fantastic.
I have a release date for BG3L3. Kind of a forced release date because of my ridiculous computer woes, but August 5th, I think. Let me check just to make sure. The first episode of BG3L3 will be on August 5th, which I think is a Tuesday. We will have BG3L3 Season 1, Episode 1. The counter has begun. It is, those have been super fun to record. We've recorded 4 episodes so far. It is the three of us playing Baldur's Gate 3. I don't think you ever actually said Baldur's Gate in your description of it.
I guess. Yeah,
But
I guess I
it
didn't.
is Baldur's Gate 3, the Lasso 3, which we've done numerous streams and shows on here. And I'm not going to lie, even though the game is way better, it definitely makes me feel like we're doing Red Fall Down again. That's
a good game, but with a good game.
But
and
with a
that's
good
what
game,
the difference is.
yeah, there's just something like magical about it. Like the three of us together have some of the most funny shit when we're playing games that I just enjoy. As far as Ordo Scriptorium, Eulogy, our kind of in-between season, wraps up with its second episode, and has done so, if you are listening to this, as of Monday. So the finale will be posted. We are going to very soon be scheduling some sort of get-together to start preparing for Season 3. I already have a notebook dedicated to it and have written up the Stalker and some of the main plot through lines in it, which should be very interesting for everybody because stuff has gotten really complicated. Anybody who's watching and listening to Eulogy on our TTRPG side, I hope you guys are having fun with all the threads that we've put in place. Other than that, there's plenty of things to get on the channel. We got a lot of TTRPG stuff. We have this show. We've got OMG M, where I book against Jeremy. On the TTRPG side, one other plug I want to do. We are going to be starting a new podcast at some point very soon. It is going to be set with the game that I am writing, which will take me probably years to finish writing because it's huge. But it is a fantasy kind of world that's fencer pirate based. With two other players that I'm very excited to do called Duel Bastards, which I'm very excited for that one. So keep on a look for that. I don't have a release date yet, but we're recording the first episode soon. So we'll see how fast we record them. Other than that, you guys can contact us on Blue Sky's best place, Axiom Games LLC /oldmangaming. You can also contact us on Discord, links in the description below. Influences in all of our shows from there. As long as you guys keep watching and you keep listening, we'll keep making them. See you guys next time. Oh, and no podcast next week. We can give it to you ahead of time. There will be no podcast next week. Somebody needed a day off, and there's no problems with me. So we will be back in 2 weeks with a new episode. All right, everybody. You guys have a good one. Yes. Did you want to hear my computer story about my SSD?
Yes, because I have a follow-up question associated with.
Oh, interesting. Do you have to do it?
No, because I was going to ask, because, I mean, this is, I guess it's kind of cross-pollination between different shows and whatnot, but what happened with Dan the Computer Man?
I have to text Dan because he's going to call me back, and I don't need him anymore. So, so here's what happened. Dan the Computer Man was actually, as weird as it was, the most trustworthy guy. And just in case this bit makes it on the show, Dan the Computer Man texted me during recording an episode of BGL3, a show that has not released yet. It'll release in August. Basically, I got a 2 terabyte SSD, but I already had a 512 in my computer. I only have one SSD port. I needed to somehow bounce my OS off that and then onto the new thing without losing anything. That was my issue. Dan the Computer Man is one of the guys I had called. He called me and texted me at, what was it? It was like 9:45 or something. It was like late.
I think I was later in the evening. It was
later in the evening.
I can't remember exactly when it was, but I remember it was later in the evening.
My wife laughed so hard when I read her the text, too. The text that he sent after he called me, if I can find it here. Dan the Computer Man. Yeah, there it is. Hello, Zach. This is Dan the Computer Man! Exclamation point. I just called and left a voicemail, and now I'm sending you a text message, which I find hilarious. Like, I'm aware of both of these things by the nature of these things being sent to me already. You don't need to put a whole paragraph in about that. That's like telling me I also walked on my feet today and breathed air. So then he says, I will be up until 12 midnight or 1 o'clock here in the morning working on computers. So feel free to give me a call. I'm not going to give out his number. And then at the bottom of the text, Dan the Computer Man! Exclamation point. I did call him back. He was a very nice gentleman. I appreciated him. He was probably one of the more honest dudes. He actually kind of started to talk me through the problem before he realized that he didn't understand what the problem was. So, like, right off the bat, I kind of trusted him a little bit more. He's the guy I would have gone to. He charged $59.95 an hour. He charges, like, half for, like, seniors and half for veterans.
That's cool.
Yeah. And he said it'd take him about 2 hours. So I was looking at $120 for him to do it. That being said, so I was kind of resigned to just doing that with him. And then I got a call because before all of this had started, I'd asked Melissa to email her IT guy at work just to ask for advice, you know? Mm-hmm. I get a call from him. He's with Melissa and he calls me and he's like, listen, I only do businesses, period. But why don't you tell me your problem and I can potentially like talk you through doing it yourself, because your wife tells me that you're relatively computer savvy. And I was like, I am. I built the computer. Like I'm not stupid. One of the people that I had gone to had treated me stupid, which made me very unhappy. And like, I'm not stupid. I could do this. It's something I've never done before. I'm nervous. I'm not exactly sure where to look for the specific thing that I am trying to do, because it is a weird specific thing online. I know I could find some tutorials. So, long story short, he gives me a step-by-step checklist. That checklist involves unplugging my HDD drive, plugging in an external, formatting the external, doing this internal Windows thing, called a system image to copy my entire system to a folder. Here's what's irritating about it, though, is the whole reason this started, because this is basically just cloning a drive. That's what it is, basically. Windows doesn't call it that, but that's what it is. And that's what I had looked up in the first place, which I had only received, like, you have to have a third-party software to do it, and when you do it, it'll wipe the drive you're doing it to, because I had more than enough space on my HDD in my tower to do it. It's just that's also the dump drive for all these videos and stuff, both raw and ready to upload. So I can't put stuff there because all of this will get wiped, right? It's not gonna. So he's like, okay, unplug it, do a system image, do it to an external hard drive, turn it off, take the old SSD out, put the new SSD in, put everything back in, turn it back on, boot it with a boot disk, and then when it asks you to repair, when it asks you to install or repair, repair from the system recovery file. And I'm like, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate this. Of course, the things that I thought were going to be easy became way difficult, because after he was all done, he was like, just so you know, you're probably going to have to extend your drive. And I'm like, what do you mean extend the drive? And he's like, well, it's only going to copy it as what it was in the first place, so that space won't be allocated, so you'll have to extend your C drive back to what it was. You just go to disk utility and you extend it from there. That's bullshit. There's no disk utility in Windows. There's a disk management, and the process for doing that does not work if your drive is the OS drive, because it won't let you fuck with the partitions of your operating system drive. So that became the most complicated part, because so at first, the other thing that bothered me is, and I just don't think he realized exactly what I was doing. He gave me enough, but I don't think he realized exactly what I was doing, because if you do this with Windows, it doesn't wipe your hard drive. It doesn't eat the hard drive you're putting it on. It's just a fucking folder. As long as you got a space, the folder's just there. So my external was not working at all with it. Like, every time I went to do it with the external, I would hit some sort of weird error. And then I realized maybe I had to, like, slow format the entire drive, which, Neil, I know you know this, but if you're formatting something to NFTS, you can quick format or you can not quick format. The quick format takes 10 seconds and it's done. The not quick format takes like 3 fucking days. I had to do this every time with my old thumb drives when I worked off the Xbox with that, right? Mm-hmm. So I had started doing that with the external, and then I started looking at a video that he had also sent me. And in the video, I realized that the guy in the video, he's doing it on his base hard drive. So I'm like, so this isn't wiping the hard drive. It's just, as long as I have the space, you just put it on here. I'm like, okay. So I just stopped the format. I did it on my HDD. I didn't unplug I plugged my HDD back in because I had already unplugged it. I did it on my HDD, the one that's built into my computer. It just became a folder. And then I took the thing down, took the graphics card out, took the SSD out, put the new SSD in, put the graphics card back in, put the boot disk in, turned it on, got really scared because it didn't work the first time, turned it off and back on. Then I got a weird graphic at the bottom of the screen, got heart palpitations, actual heart palpitations, and then like 5 minutes of waiting, it just started to work. Then recovered it, from my HDD, no problem. And I'm going to say it did an amazing job. I thought it was going to keep all my apps and my login stuff, and that was it. It kept every fucking file I had on it, like all my PDFs, every picture. Like the drive looks exactly the same from one to the next. Like exactly the same, which I just was not expecting it to be like a one-for-one copy. Like even the updates, I was expecting to have to go in and do some updates or something. You know what I mean? But it was just a perfect replica of the original drive. So I was super happy with that. But then I went to go download Baldur's Gate 3 and realized I still didn't have any space. So then I had to fuck with the partition stuff. And that's when things got tricky, because he had told me to go to disk utility. There's no such thing as a fucking disk utility. If you search for extend your disk space in your Windows 10, it gives you this weird thing that doesn't work. So then I look it up, and it says it doesn't say extend. It says another word, another E word that I can't think of right now. But like, so finally I get into the right place, which is the disk management, and I realize, and I watch a video on it, so I know what I have to do. But it won't let me do it to the original SSD because that is my OS. And it just won't let you fuck with that partition at all. So what I ended up doing is my SSD has 2 drives on it. It has my C drive, which has the exact same space as the original SSD because that's where the clone drive is. And then I just allocated all that unallocated space to the F drive for, fuck me, it's computers. And I have 2 drives off one hard disk, basically.
Yeah.
And now I can just download stuff. Like, I just made that just games. So that space is like 1.3 terabytes, and I can just put the games right on there.